Hey, what's up everybody? It is Dusti Martin with Platinum Living Realty live from the school pickup line. I've been out showing homes all day. It is nasty, nasty weather, 95 degrees, humidity, dew point, tropical storms rolling up from the Gulf. So I thought I would jump on and just do a rough kind of guide for buyers right now, especially if you're looking at luxury homes over $1 million in Arizona. I've spent the whole last week kind of digging into the numbers because I noticed some trends, not just with my own listing, but other listings that I was showing some of my buyers that made no sense. We have not seen in several years, and that is lots and lots and lots and lots of new listings. I'm not talking about actives that are just sitting there because nobody's buying. I'm talking about people dumping homes on the market, and it started in like June and July. It decreased some in August, but traditionally in Arizona, that is not the time to be listing your home. Most of the buyers, especially in the luxury market, are gone. And it is so hot here. Even the lower price points tend to get hit really hard in the summer because nobody's gone, and the people who want to move but don't have to move are not out traipsing around in 115 or 120 degree heat, especially for homes that may or may not even have the AC on. And so it's just so hot that we lose a lot of buyers in the summer. It just, for a lot of the whole valley, a lot of it just goes dormant, right? Everybody's up north, everybody's camping, everybody's in the mountains, everybody is on a beach somewhere, and that means not Arizona. So I thought between that, we had this huge like just dump of all these properties that normally would have never hit the market in June and July, and still a lot in August. I was able to pull data back to 2015. That's as far back as it would go. And it, I've never seen this many homes hit the market ever, let alone in the summer. So our big dump is usually February, March, April. They are all under contract and then usually close in June and July. But then you have to remember the closings are the lagging indicators. The lagging indicators told you what happened 30, 60, 90 days ago, not what happened right now, right? Because those went under contract way in the past. You know, active listings, new listings, pendings, under contract. Those are your leading indicators of what is to come in the next few weeks, 30 days. So anyway, I thought I would jump on here and give 3 tips for buyers, especially like in the North Valley where home prices tend to be higher, but then also for the luxury market as well. And so one of the things, if you're looking to find your dream home and you're going to spend a chunk of change, is get out there and see them. We are no longer in the market where you have to go and decide to buy a property sight unseen. That is no longer a thing. That's one thing, is get out there and go see them. Go see a lot. I haven't done big full day showings of homes in well over a year. And it's usually because there wasn't time to go see them, and then there was like only one. And so we'd run across town, or we would just make an offer before we even saw it. No, like the last 2 weekends, I have literally shown no less than 5 houses a day. And we can take our time. We can, you know, we only saw like maybe 1 or 2 other buyers out pounding pavement. And so that's really good. Like, negotiating's a thing again. You can go see all the homes and then decide which one you really like. Heck, you might go see it 2 or 3 times. There's been a couple homes I've shown twice. And it's, you know, people are really able to take their time and like make sure that is the one, you know? And so get out there, go see them. Like there's time. You can do that now. The other thing is, don't give away the farm. Just because it's pretty and shiny and new. A trend I am noticing, and like I said, I've shown a good 12, 15 houses in this, I'd say between $1 million and $1.5 million in the last 7 days. And I have noticed that 80% of them are at least $100,000 overpriced. Some of them 150 or more. And it's sad because there's somebody in that seller's ear telling them that they should sell their home or list their home for higher, and they're really like hurting that person. The 2 homes that were priced appropriately are already under contract. There was 2 of them, and they got under contract, and then there was a third that was very close, and they have an offer, and it's like within 3%, I think it was, within 3% of the list price. So they're not even selling for list price. So like, even if they are priced right, they're probably selling for like 97, 98%, which is a more normal seller's market pre-2020. 2020 and 2021 were literally the hold my beer of real estate years. So don't ever compare what we have now to like those last 2 years, because you can't. It was crazy. That was not sustainable. It never was gonna be. And if you're squawking about interest rates now, just keep in mind, like, this is only where we were a couple years ago. We were only there like a few years ago. And to be honest, like, it's lending restrictions are much stricter now. You're not going to be seeing a crash. You're not going to be seeing people who aren't qualified to have a home. Like, they're crossing their T's, they're dotting their I's. These people, the only thing that can really mess with them is if the interest rates go up unexpectedly. And so if you're looking to buy, you need to make sure that you are keeping in contact with your lender weekly to see where rates are at, because they are all over the place and they are not predictable at all. The Fed is raising interest rates and is totally affecting like credit cards and that kind of debt, and it is having some effect on mortgages, but there's so much more to work with and at play when you're determining a mortgage rate, that it's not going to go up just because the Fed said so, right? There's other things. There's municipal bonds, stuff like that, that are the Fed bonds, stuff like, there's other things that calculate a mortgage rate. So we've seen mortgage rates jump up 5.5, 5.6, then down to 5, then 5.25, then below 5, down into the high 4s, and then back up to 5.5. Like, it is all over the place. It is literally like trying to play pin the tail on the donkey. Like, it's bananas. So just know, like, just stay in contact with your lender, and maybe you go and you talk to your lender about what's the worst case scenario interest rate that I might be looking at by the end of the year. And if you can afford that worst case scenario, then you know you're fine. But otherwise, I would be in contact with your lender routinely, weekly, just to get a quick mortgage update. And if they've done all your paperwork and everything, they should know about what your rate should be without having to re-pull your credit. So yeah, don't give away the farm. Homes are grossly overpriced right now. And I don't mean like their values are falling. I mean, say the comp says the last identical home sold was $1 million. There are people who are listing at 1.1 or 1.2, you know? And so it's, like I said, the aspirational pricing is gone. And so make sure you do your comps, you figure out what that home really should sell for, and don't be afraid to call an agent up, you know, assuming you're an agent watching this, or if you're a buyer, get an agent who's honest to a fault and aggressive, who has no qualms about telling the other side, look, you're really overpriced and we like your house, but not at that price. So like, how realistic are you going to be? And to be honest, I just had this conversation with another agent, and he was a cool dude, but there's a lot of other people in his seller's ear telling them that their home is worth $150,000 more, if not even more, $300,000 in some cases. They started out $300,000 high. Hi, Nikki. speaking of that other agent, so I gotta tell you, so I was having this conversation with this agent. They want to move to Pocatello, Idaho, and they want to get there before the snow falls, and they're freaking out because their home's not selling, because they started at like just under 1.5 and the home's really only worth 1.2, and they've reduced it down to 1.349. And I had to call their agent. I was like, look, bro, my clients really like this house, like really like this house, but not for that price. They're not going to pay $100,000, $150,000 over any justifiable comp, right? And so I just said, look, like, he's like, well, we had an offer that was 1.23 and we couldn't make it work. And I was like, dude, they should have took that, because that was more than the home was worth. That was $30,000 too high, in my opinion. And so he's like, well, this and well, that, and it's an acre. And I was like, oh, no, it's 3/4. It is not an acre. And so, so I just kind of, was telling him, this is how it is, man. Like, you're way overpriced. You got a cool house, but it was built in the 70s, and the homes you're trying to compare it to were built in 2004. It's not the same. And, if your clients can be realistic and open-minded, then we could probably work out a deal. So that's kind of one of the other things, is just because the home is overpriced doesn't mean that the seller doesn't know that it's overpriced. So if you bring in an offer where it should be and they're reasonable and they accept reality, cool. You just found your dream home for a price you're willing to pay for it, and you got it for well under list price. And when I mean that, I mean the stupid price they think they still can get. The values haven't gone down, by the way. They're still up slightly for the year. But yeah, they've gone down over the summer, but I actually went back for the last 5 years. Prices have gone down every summer in this price point every single year, partly because the big fish go home, they leave the pond, and then I just went through that on a listing. It's crazy how people don't follow the real trends. Yeah. And the funny thing is like, I asked this agent, like, it's like, do you subscribe to Rapid Stats in the MLS? And he was like, no. I'm like, okay, well, it's like the Cromford report, except not wrong. And I know I'm going to get some hate. I know there are Arizona agents who love the Cromford report. And to be fair, their data, when you look at their past data, like when the stuff they pull from the MLS, it's right. Their assertions and their predictions and their projections are always wrong. Always. And so the one thing they get is their months of supply and demand. They get that pretty spot on, but 3 years in a row now they've said, oh, we're going to be in a buyer's market by the end of the year if this keeps going. And it never does, because it's Arizona. It's the summer. Nobody's here. And so anyway, so I'll probably get some hate, but I don't follow their stuff too much because I kind of got sick of the fear mongering and the scaremongering, and it's not my gig. So I actually subscribe to Rapid Stats, and it'll pull the MLS numbers and data for me. And a lot of their even their commentary a lot of times can be wrong, but if it allows you to pull the whole gamut of everything we have data for in our MLS and the charts and stuff, it'll allow me to pull those charts more quickly, and then I can go back and see like what's the normal trend. So I'm finding I'm going back to like 2018, 2019, and that's where like everything was normal until the end of 2019, and then it was just like, let's all just collectively lose our minds and throw stupid prices on houses and see if it sticks. And then it did stick, and it was weird. So we've gone way up. We're still way up from where we were even a year ago, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So have prices gone down? Like, yeah, like that much in the last couple months, but we're still way up for the year. So just, just because the home is priced somewhere doesn't mean that the seller is listening to any kind of reason. Anyway, so that was my second point. So don't give away the farm. Like, negotiating is a thing again, and you can be really aggressive as a buyer, because a lot of these sellers, like I said, they have no idea really what their home should sell for, and they've got 5 people in the ear telling them 7 different things, and only one of them is right. And then the other thing is negotiate like hell. And I kind of already covered this. Just bring your A game. Get an agent who is super, super aggressive. Hey, Michael. Just get an agent who is not at all afraid to tell it like it is, and to kind of build some trust and really be aggressive, if not strong arm, the other side, because there are opportunities there for, I'm seeing the ability for people to purchase potential flips again, which is great because home values haven't decreased. And yeah, you might pay a good chunk for the home, but I'm finding the ugly ones really do have the potential to make a lot of money, especially in the high end. I saw 2 houses today, and I haven't put photos up of them yet, but 2 of them were built in the 70s and never updated, ever updated. And these are homes that were listed like over $1 million. And if they were updated, they'd be like 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and they're listed like right around like $1 million-ish. And if you spent $100,000 and updated it and made it pretty and like something that somebody in 2022 would want to live in, you would make a lot of money, But anyway, those are my 3 tips. If you're looking to buy a luxury property, or actually anything really over like 500, 700,000 in Maricopa County, that's where I started seeing the weird trend of all these homes, like totally not normal amounts of homes coming on the market. And I don't think it's because buyers stopped buying, really. I mean, it slowed down a little because of the summer, but I didn't see like a huge drop in the amount of closed homes. I saw that was uncharacteristic of this time of year. What I did see was an uncharacteristic amount of new listings coming on the market. And that's been the really, really interesting point in all of this, is just looking at the pendings and the solds and what's happening. The only real difference I can see is the amount of homes that are getting listed. And I don't know if it's just people freaking out, you know? People are just like, oh my God, the sky is falling. I better sell my house now or I won't be able to. I don't know. I really don't know. Or maybe they feel like they're about to miss their window. I don't know. I would love to know what everybody else is seeing in their market. And it's not even a chart I necessarily pull all that often because it's not as relevant. But I was trying to figure out, like, why is our inventory so high? Are they just not selling? Because the stats I was looking at was homes are still selling. They're not, like, they were a little down for the month. They were a little down for the summer, but not like a lot. And so our inventory and our, like, it wasn't connecting. And that's what I found is a lot of people just dumped their homes, especially higher end homes. But anyway, my name is Dusti Martin. I am a real estate agent in the North Valley. I live in Scottsdale. My kids go to school in Cape Creek. And I tend to do mostly the North Valley, but I'm not opposed to going other places. I just closed a place in Buckeye. If you have had any thoughts of selling, or if you want an equity update on your home just to see where your home really is, Boise's back to 2018 and 19. See, we're back to just normal. It was a seller's market. It just wasn't a stupid seller's market. But yeah. So I'd be happy to show you around. I'd be happy to open a few doors and do some comps and let you know what you can expect in your price point, in your zip code, in the neighborhood you're looking to buy a home in, because real estate really is local. It really is. And so you have to find somebody who's totally dialed into your local marketplace. Absolutely, 100%. It's just, you can't not have an agent who doesn't understand numbers right now, because interest rates are all over the place. They're up, they're down, they're sideways. And, you know, it's an election year, so pricing patterns are off. Yeah, So like our inventory levels are the same, but our pricing patterns are still like, you know, but yeah, just find somebody. Real estate is so local and it varies. I'm seeing parts of town that it is a buyer's market. I'm seeing certain price ranges where it is a buyer's market. I'm also seeing other price ranges where it is a screaming hot seller's market. And I'm seeing other parts of town where it's a screaming hot seller's market. So, like I said, you just need somebody who knows the local, you know, has got their thumb on the local pulse, and then you're good. If you have any questions, give me a call, 480-717-9405. Thanks. Bye.